Hi, my name is Allison. I'm 38 years old. I live in Ohio. I am a mother of two, stepmother of two. I would like to document Sjogren's my life, I guess. Maybe others have the same issues, so might as well document it. Maybe we can all relate by something and share some stuff. As a young child, I always had dental issues. I was going every 6 months to get my cleaning. I'd always have to have a filling here a few weeks later. 16, 17, my face started swelling up. Had no idea why. I went to the regular family physician and they suggested that I start taking some antibiotics. So they assumed it was an infection in my glands, gave me an antibiotic. And this went on, I got them every year, if not twice a year. Extremely painful. For the first 2 or 3 days, it would knock me on my butt. I just want to lay in bed and I wouldn't eat. I would drink, but I would not eat at all. And I'd eat ibuprofen. Loved ibuprofen. It was my best friend. After a few days, it started getting a little easier to tolerate. I would start massaging the side of my face. And then I would put a warm compress on it, trying to work that infection out. I even caught myself sucking it out and pulling out and spitting into a paper towel, and it helped bring it out. What else? Sorry, my mind's gone blank. I have no memory anymore. I even lose track as I'm talking. I'll just start talking and then I'll forget what I'm talking about. 1999, I gave birth to my first child, Austin. And Austin was born with a bunch of lesions on, well, I shouldn't say he was born with them. He ended up with these lesions all over his torso and his face. I would go see the pediatrician often. I was there once a week for the first few weeks, I'd say first 6 weeks of his life. We went to the pediatrician's office, paid my $20 copay each time. After being told to switch the formula, because I had issues producing milk, switched the formula and gave me prescriptions for psoriasis, eczema, what else? Ringworm. I was told it was ringworm. My ex-mother-in-law, I'm now divorced, my kid's father, went with me to the doctors and told him, look, these kids can't afford to keep coming and paying you $20 at a time. So they sent me to a dermatologist. The dermatologist did a biopsy behind my boy's ear. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. I heard my dog's barking too. They did a biopsy behind his ear, 2 months old. That broke me down. The doctor did say he believed it was neonatal lupus, but come back in a week and he would give me my results. I left there freaking out. All I hear is lupus. Went to work. My employer at the time, my boss, his wife had lupus. It attacked her organs. She was in and out of the hospital all the time. Well, I went back a week later. It was confirmed lupus. They told me at that time only 300 of the kids who had been diagnosed with neonatal lupus were becoming adults, few of them. And they didn't believe there was any long-term effect. They just believed it was my immune system that was still in my son. And by the time he was 7 months old, I believe they said 7 or 8, somewhere between 6 and 8, we'll say, months old, then he would be fine. So we waited, and they finally disappeared. The lesions slowly disappeared, and Austin is a healthy 16-year-old boy. He's about 5'11", almost 6 foot. Plays basketball nonstop. The boy lives for basketball every day. He has a ball in his hand. He's a sophomore now in high school, and healthy as can be. Weighs about 175 pounds, so he's a little skinny mini. He's awesome. I actually got pregnant with twins in 2002. I learned I had twin transfusion syndrome, also known as TTTS. The twins did not make it. They were only, TTTS is only found in identical twins. Put it briefly, what it is too much arteries and nutrients are going to the baby, one baby, while the other baby is working like an overdrive to stay pumping. One of my babies was considered a stuck baby, and he was stuck in the side of my stomach, I guess. The other one had all this room and stuff to move around. And I ended up losing the babies. I flew to Florida to try to save them. Might end up hemorrhaging when they were doing this experimental surgery. So they did a C-section. And my boys were born January 10th, 2002, about 19 weeks gestation. One was considered still, the other had a heartbeat for a little bit, short period of time. So we ended up cremating them. While I was still in Florida, the doctor's nurse office at the doctor. Okay, let's do this again. The doctor's office, or the doctor, they called and told me that the babies had Down syndrome. And the nurse made the comment, well, good thing they had Down syndrome. You know, that'd been tough to take care of 2 babies. And I was very upset by that comment, thinking no matter what, those are my babies. I would have taken care of them either way. I was told I needed to go see a genetic counselor. I went and saw one in January 2003. After I had all my blood work done, I found out the babies were not Down syndrome babies. All their chromosomes were there. It's just the chromosomes like detach and reattach themselves in a different order. And we found out that's the way my chromosomes work in my body. They detached and reattached in a different order, but all the chromosomes are still there. He did ask me at that appointment, the genetic doctor, if I was pregnant, because he was to give me the okay to get pregnant again if it was okay. And I told him no, no idea if I am. I didn't know, but I had a suspicion that I might have been. We left that appointment. My mother went with me, and I told my mom, I think I might be pregnant. I was a few days late off my period, and I ended up buying a test, taking it. It was positive, and September 2003, I gave birth to my daughter. So when she was born, I had my tubes tied. I did not want to risk another pregnancy. I was a nervous wreck that entire pregnancy. Knowing that I was going to our local children's hospital in Columbus to have EKGs done on her to make sure her heart was fully functioning and she would not need a pacemaker once she was born. And all is well. She's a healthy 12-year-old now. She's probably 5'4", weighs 110 pounds. She's skinny and tall. She just made the junior high cheerleading team for her 7th grade year for next school year. She's extremely athletic. I'm not a big into cheerleading, never have been. I was a sports mom. My daughter does play basketball though, so she's only going to cheer for football, but I'm all for her. I'm so excited she made the team. She's ecstatic, and like I said, I'm happy for her. Kylie ended up being born. She had lesions as well. Again, her being born in September, she didn't have as many lesions as her brother. So I did not have her biopsied since I knew in my heart what it was. I figured I'm not cutting my baby up again. I already knew what it was. There was no need to find out again to confirm it. For the most part, my Sjogrens, I had no issues with Sjogrens. Fatigue, that was my main issue. I shouldn't say that. I have issues with my teeth, of course. The dry mouth and the fatigue. Those were my main symptoms for the longest time. Again, I was diagnosed in 2000. Yeah, in 2000, but all my symptoms started probably in 1994. And I would say I didn't start having real issues till probably the last 3 years. So we'll say from 1994 till 2012, I've had it pretty easy. Very easy. Maybe even, there's issues I have with walking. Walking makes my legs ache. I end up with these red blotches all over them. I end up going to a dermatologist after I had an episode just to make sure it wasn't vasculitis. Found out it's just hives. They, of course, gave me the medical technical term, and no, they're hives. The only thing that fixes it is for me to keep my legs elevated. I'm actually sitting in my chair right now. I just worked all day. Sitting at a desk, even putting my feet up half a foot does not help at all to put them on a little step stool. My legs want to be elevated. So my legs are elevated at this moment as I'm talking because they are feeling a little achy, and I just try to avoid the red dots all over because it just makes it real tight and I don't like it. So I'll go ahead and end this one. I'm going to try to post more here. I'm just trying to keep them a little shorter. I made one earlier. It was like 34 minutes long, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to try to shorten these up and share my life with you guys. So, till next time. See ya.